Yeah.
The George Pickens trade, where did you have our draft grade? And then with adding him, where did it upgrade? Because I know mine upgraded.
Yeah, I had the draft originally at an A- after George Pickens trade. I said, I don't give a damn about anything. I was done. A+ it, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it really made it A+.
Yeah, I feel like
and that made it an A for me.
Right. Yeah. You know, the only thing I would say probably at least me a little disgruntled when it comes to the draft is a running back, right? And I feel like the extra offensive lineman, the right tackle is a little bit overkill. You know what I'm saying? Like, but outside of that, man, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys really killed this draft, right? Just from like a draft nerd perspective, you know what I'm saying? But also, I just think from a futuristic perspective, when we look back on this draft class, like you said, you're probably walking away with 3 day one starters.
3 starters, bro.
If healthy with Revel, right? I feel like Jadon Blue is going to be a slow play, but around week 6, week 7, you'll see the tweets about how he needs more carries, right? So I feel like that can possibly be the case. You're getting about 4 guys. And then a sneaky good play, and we'll talk about this here in a second, is Shamar James out of Florida.
Bro, he having a good. We're gonna talk about that. He having a good.
I feel like Shamar James, man, he's like, you know, I hate calling him this, but it's like he's like a Timu Overshown. You know what I'm saying? Like he's kind of that wiry outside linebacker that can move sideline to sideline.
He's slow,
phenomenal blitzer coverage.
He's explosive though, right?
I mean, he didn't have the most explosive combine, but you watch the film. It's there, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of it's downhill, it's straight line. It's like, so if you're looking to blitz someone in the A gap or B gap and set his hair on fire, he's that guy. So I feel like Matty E is going to have some certain packages for him where you just unleash havoc, and you have D Easy, you have Fowler, you have Micah, you know, you have some of these guys, you know, maybe Sam Williams, you know, turns the corner post injury. You can really peel your ears back and get after the quarterback.
You mind if I say something real quick, Tuck?
Yeah.
You brought up the draft grade. And I think we all happy about the draft grade. What's good, Stargazer?
Stargazer in the building.
I was grading the offseason before the draft, and I had it like C plus B. Mm-hmm. And really, what was carrying it was Dante Fowler. I feel like Fowler was a really good sneaky pickup, 10+ sacks, excellent, right? If you just do the George Pickens trade pre-draft, right? Because trades and free agent signings are what carried the offseason. When you had Solomon, the good depth pickup, you had Fowler, you trade for George Pickens, bro. I would have had us at a B+ for the offseason, probably an A, because George Pickens is like I'm tired of trying to downplay it for to make everybody else happy. It probably made it an A. And then you have that draft on top of it. This is probably the best Cowboys offseason. Like, I ain't trying to be hyperbolic, but in like maybe a decade, bro, like full offseason.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Oh, go ahead, DB.
I would say the last time I think that we had an offseason like this, I want to say we rebuilt the line with Kyle Cozier and the kid the dude from Arizona. Like when Romo needed a line, all of a sudden, like we went out there and got some
linemen. It's a deep cut, DB.
Yeah.
Right.
That's about a little bit longer than a decade, but that line ended up being impactful for us. So
because Amari don't count. We did that in season. I'm talking about like not when we were messing up. Okay, let's go fix something. I'm talking about like full just off season, making the trade early too. I gotta give it to him. Like I know Stephen Jones is in that stream smiling and acting goofy.
Right. Well, let me ask y'all this to play devil's advocate slightly, right?
Facts.
Do we think it's because they are wanting to be more aggressive from a winning capacity, or is it because we had 20+ free agents that we needed to re-sign, so they had to put together a complete roster some way, somehow? Because, I mean, they lost guys, right? So it wasn't like they had this foundation already. You lost D-Law, you lost Zach Martin, you lost J. Lou, you lost Chauncey Golston, who are 4 very important pieces. You lost Brandon Cooks, you know. So it's like you had to make moves, you know. So was it? Do y'all think it was because of that reason, or you think it's because they're still wanting to be competitive and close the gap on Philly and Kansas City and those types of teams?
Hey, y'all, we see the super chats too. I want y'all to think we just
Yeah. We're gonna get to the super chats.
We'll get the super chats
we
in
got a
one more.
section built out for that, y'all. So we see them all. Keep them coming. We want to make sure.
I appreciate y'all. I want y'all to think we just like whatever.
Right. Yeah. We see them all. We appreciate them, man. Keep the super chats coming.
You want to take it, DMV?
Yeah. So I think it's for a multitude of reasons, bro. I think that for one, you were losing the fan base. That's the number one. You
damn right.
So you had to appease the fan base. Second, I'm starting to see Steven really out there more in the forefront. So I think that now this is Steven's probably his full show now. And it looked like Steven really pulling the strings on a lot of the stuff. Like you saw him, they interviewed him and talking about
DMV co-owner Steven Jones.
Co-owner, yeah.
Yo, that's a nugget.
To add his footprint to
that's
stuff.
a nugget though. On the low.
Yeah. And so Steven, I think, was instrumental in getting the Pickens deal done. And, we the fan base had looked at Steven like he was the bad guy. So I think that they're trying to paint the picture that, he is here to try and win. We also have money to do other things too. I don't know if y'all heard today where he said, hey, we still not done. So they could still add more, which they need to do. And I'm happy for it. But to add the other part, competitive, we have to, dog. We have to with this schedule. So,
I want to say this because I want to add on the DMV said, because I agree with you. I think, and I know Tuck been telling me about how Shotty kind of like a used car salesman. You know what I'm saying? He out there trying to sell the room. And I agree with you completely. I remember leading up to some of these moves we made, and when we were in full-fledged, I'm tired of this team not doing nothing mode before the free agency started. And we were talking about what kind of coach we needed, right? And I was saying I had no idea it was going to be Shotty. I was like, I need a coach that could come in here and try to outsell Jerry or Steven and not just be – because I think Mike McCarthy's problem was he was too prideful.
Right.
He like, I ain't going to talk to them. Whatever. I'll deal with whatever they give me. I think Shotty got a little bit of like just worrisome little brother to him. Because Will McClay said that it was Shotty and Jerry, but mainly I think Shotty that was like, oh, man, we're going to follow up on that Pickens thing. Like, what's up? And because I don't think Shotty has the like we were saying earlier in the chat, I don't think Shotty got the ability to be. You can't be cocky,
right?
But who does he remind you of though? Who did he remind you of? I talked about it. I was like, man, when I was making the 14-3 reference or whatever, he reminds me of Wade Phillips when he came in after Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells was accomplished. He had things he wanted to do a certain way, kind of like McCarthy. And now Shotty coming in, fun loving, we're going to be shooting free throws and all that type of stuff. So,
he got a cheat code though.
So he reminds me of a coach, DMV, after Parcells, but it's not Wade.
You better not say Dave Campo. But that was before.
It feels.
You say Garrett? You might say Garrett?
Garrett. It feels.
I need him to have a little bit more swag than Garrett because if just
I think he's just I think he's more of a modern day version of it. You know what I'm saying? He got tattoos on his forearm. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of an upgrade. It's a little bit more swagger, but
it's a little bit of both.
I'm gonna say something that's gonna be controversial
because he's the son of a coach too. Remember,
Garrett wasn't horrible, y'all. Garrett just was missing that little something that can get his team motivated.
Yeah.
Garrett, I heard, had hard practices. I heard that he was detail oriented. I heard he loved physicality. Like Garrett, he had the right things, but he didn't have that. It's game day. I need to have y'all locked. He didn't have a motivational thing. I don't know if Shotty got it. I can't give it to him until he do it.
Right.
But Garrett, like when it was big games, Mike Tomlin will carry a bad team over just on whatever he's saying in his pregame speech.
Right.
It worked.
Right.
And I think some of our coaches, if we haven't had that, if it's either got to be a player like a Ray Lewis or your coach, somebody got to give you that, this is a big game, let's get to it. And it can't be Dak. We've talked about that. That's got to be out.